It's the case that, which is Alistair McIntyre's mannerism to introduce something. It is the case that. Where was I? It dawned on me. I don't teach. I encourage and inspire. And I didn't think of the word inspire in some spiritual sense, but in a sense I did. Being in my company in a lecture or a class was meant to be such fun and curiosity and playfulness that you went away loving the subject and looked forward to the next class or lecture. I've won. You're on the path to being whatever it is, say an economist or spiritual giant. If I'm teaching as I'm teaching now. In other words, if I can't inspire, it's like the man who reads his speech. It's utterly dead. And at best, confusing. Now let me say that again. At best, it's dead. At worst, it's a total confusion. So whether it was Alistair McIntyre or me, in some sense, we'd got the message. Now, McIntyre was totally secular. Well, he felt he was totally secular, of course. But in fact, in a way, he was very loving. There it was, lunchtime, and he's giving a free lecture. Why? Because the students mattered to him. The staff are in the restaurant and in the lounges. Do you see the difference? Marshall's in the playground. He's on yard duty. What, all the time? Well, he puts himself there. If he wants to have his cup of tea in the playground, it's up to him, isn't it? And of course the headmistress thinks, oh, what a wonderful young man. And I've got streaming long hair, and she hates long hair. And I say, oh, well, but I have long hair. She says, oh, yes, but you keep it tidy. In other words, she'll find a reason for accepting all sorts of things that are wrong with me now. Because in some sense, I'm her dedicated teacher. And in some intuitive way, she's actually feeling he's going to relate to the kids because he loves them. So, of course, when I had her as a reference to apply for a job rather later on, well, it was an open door to the job I was applying to, wasn't it? She was a blessing to me. Miss Creek was her name. Ah, what a blessing to Marshall. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. When we see these miracles in our life of how God sets our life up and takes us through, overcome by gratitude. And it's the thankfulness, the gratitude that transports us spiritually into the kingdom of heaven. It's as simple as that. That's why they built Ebenezer's stone piles to remind them in the story of something lovely that happened in their past. And that's why we have these ritual celebrations like Christmas and Easter and whatever, and birthdays and so on, to remind us of goodness. You know, VE Day, what's it, Victory Day or something, I mean. It's a thankfulness, you see. Thankfulness for something that's happened in our past. And if God exists, we'd like to thank him for it. And if he doesn't exist, we're going to thank him anyway. Get out of my way. And you get secular people who we're having a prayer time now, or we're talking to God. Right, okay. We're thanking him for these great people who have died for us in the past and all that sort of thing. But it's a very good sort of thing. And you feel you've been translated into a different world, at least for a while. That's what ceremony and ritual does to people. And don't dismiss the storyteller, because if he tells a good story, it's a good story, one that will bless you into life eternal. And that's what good scripture is. It's not historical, not meant to be. It's put in a historical context, because if it wasn't in the context of that which you're familiar with and can think of, you wouldn't make head and tail of the story. So there are heroes and villains, good and evil, and uncertainty and tensions, and the ideal, of course, the heavenly. Well, a good outcome. The story has a bad ending. Well, that doesn't set you up for the day. It doesn't set you up for the night. It gives you nightmares. That's no good. It's got to be a good story. The best give you life eternal. Help you in that direction. Well, if that's what you value. And the idea is that the experience of the story will give you what you value. And that will drive your life. That's the worth of the story and of Scripture. Not some historicity or literalism. Not some perfect erudite reasoning. This is not an academy of Plato. This is a temple of God. Rubbish. Fair enough. You don't have to listen to me, do you? Are you coming to my next talk? No, I'm not. All right. Bless you. Those happiest to hear, let them hear. Thank you, Dad.